So Ford.
Our friends at Ford.
Ford has done a very good job the past 2 years of staying relevant in the media.
Marketing, innovation. Yep. Yes.
So today is no exception. They announced a partnership with Google. It's a 6-year deal. And it's going to cover, and I want to do finger quotes here for those of you that aren't watching this video, in-car connectivity and cloud services. All right. Now, what does
That's
that
a portion of
what
what
does
it
that
covers.
mean? Okay. Let's get into some of this. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready, man.
Speed is running in my veins. Adrenaline that fills my brain. It's just like I'm getting high. Sometimes you should give a try.
All right.
Oh, by the way, what was the price tag of that?
Do you have it?
I do.
What is it?
It's an
11 billion?
$11 billion restructuring plan.
That's what I have too. All right. So
Yep.
this
That's
fits,
a lot. Now that's a lot of money.
well, it fits in with Ford's attempts to, and GM's doing the same thing, and we've talked about it, where they're having to make a lot of changes for future accommodations. So they're downsizing a little bit. Back to the previous segment where you talked about, how these
What'd you say they were doing?
Downsizing?
Yeah. What's that? Do you mean like less employees to do the job?
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So,
And how will they achieve that?
well, there's autonomous.
We're gonna get into that.
Yeah. Autonomous.
AI. Oh yeah.
I see what you're doing.
What's that other acronym? UAW. What?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
It's funny how this all fits together, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So they know they've got to do it, and the thing is, if they don't do it, someone else will, like Rivian or Tesla, or somebody with the startup mindset that is starting from nothing, and they can design their own. I mean, I have a feeling that's part of the reason why Amazon went with Rivian for the vans is Rivian could spin up their assembly process to meet that right away without going, well, we can't do that on our assembly line because it would require this, and we're not tooled up for that. And retooling a factory takes a couple of years and blah, 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 right?
But it was also, with Amazon and the Rivian thing, that was part of Amazon's goal to be, also carbon neutral by a specific time.
Yeah. And we're going to get carbon neutral by using electric vehicles with batteries in them that cost $30,000 and pull electricity.
Yeah, we'll talk about
from
that.
Yeah,
We'll
all right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's all marketing and PR as far as I'm concerned. It could be good, but it's not neutral. All right. So back to this Ford deal. Okay. So it's just as beneficial, I think, for Google as it is for Ford. But, Ford, with their sync, this isn't the first time Ford has done something like this. They partnered with Microsoft over a decade ago with the sync line, and Microsoft helped them figure that out, and it put Ford ahead of everyone else in terms of their infotainment systems.
Right.
Now we're going back into this, and people will probably immediately go, well, they're just going to start pumping Android Auto into all these vehicles. Well, they kind of already are. I don't think
they already are.
They don't need help with that.
No.
I think it falls more in line with, okay, so again, we've talked about this, but you have a car manufacturer like Tesla who put out a Model S a decade or so ago, and there have been some changes to that Model S, but the appearance of it is relatively the same as it was when they first rolled it out, okay?
Right.
What they have continued to do, though, is to push updates to those vehicles as they have learned of safety issues, of refinements, whether it's self-driving, whatever it is, right?
And with more electronics on these vehicles, that's more and more commonplace, and there's more of a need for it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
In the middle of a crisis situation, we've seen Tesla do this with hurricanes. We've seen them do it with other crisis situations, wildfires in California, where they will push a software update to people in a certain area and boost the range, so that those people can go further on a charge because they need to, right?
Right.
So that's completely opposite of what's gone on in the traditional big three. You buy a car, you go, you take that thing home. That's the car you've got. It's not going to get updated unless there's a recall,
Right.
unless it's a safety related issue. That model is outdated, and it is not going to be the way to go forward. And I think Ford knows that. They do not have the platform to push updates to vehicles.
That's right. And, you were talking about Google, it being more beneficial to Google. I think that be the case here. Google's really the winner here because Amazon and Microsoft hold that higher percentage of cloud storage computing than Google currently does.
Yeah.
So now you have, yes, they're all using like behind the scenes cloud storage, but for the most part, Amazon and Microsoft, they pretty much have that the higher market share. So I think that this puts Google in a better position to get a higher percentage of that. And why is that? Here's why. Because Ford, for the last 10 years, has been the number one in sales of fleet vehicles like Ford F-150s and transit vans and those sorts of things, commercial type vehicles. So if you're working on all electric vehicles, right? And you're looking to expand on that by pushing all those electric vehicles out to your fleets, like we've heard about. There's the e-transits coming out. We got the electric F-150 coming out. If you're going to try to get to be carbon neutral, and again, this ties into big cities like fleet vehicles, like construction companies that can go to a work site, man, and potentially power some of the stuff that they have without having to run power or get, you know what I'm saying? Or pulling up to have a meeting in your diesel vehicle and just letting it sit there and idle for 45 minutes while you're on the site. Electric vehicles won't do that. So the point I'm trying to make is that I think there's a couple of things going on here with this move for Ford to partner with Google. But Google really benefits because not only are they sharing that cloud storage, but they're sharing the AI technology and some of the integrations that they have in, say, distribution or production and those sorts of things. They have technology. They have that ability to help Ford out to get better at what they're trying to do. And the end goal is to produce a lot of electric vehicles.
Let me tell you what else they've got.
Okay.
That those other people that you mentioned don't, namely like Amazon and Microsoft. Okay.
Right.
See this right here? I don't know if you can see that logo. You see that logo?
I do.
This is a Google Pixel.
Yep.
Google has access to a national cell phone network. Now, they don't own it.
Nope.
They've partnered with, they have secured a partnership. They're using towers from T-Mobile and US Cellular and Sprint, some others, okay? But Amazon and Microsoft do not have access to that. So in the immediate short term, now I understand everybody's working on satellite internet and there's some, space type stuff that, internet from space or whatever. What is this? The Muppet Show, Pigs in Space or whatever.
Yeah.
But right now, today, Google is the only one at the table that can do that and deliver. And so if you're talking about delivering updates to vehicles and cloud connectivity, and you can't rely on Wi-Fi, which you can't always rely on Wi-Fi. And
That's right.
I mean, even if I were to give my car permission to connect to my home Wi-Fi, what's the Wi-Fi signal like in my garage? Most of those garages have some level of concrete in them. Concrete is not a good for radio signal. It does not deal well.
Doesn't work well. Yeah.
So cellular network, much more pervasive. Okay. Just seems to me like we've got an opportunity there for some over-the-air updates and a partnership with Google to do it.
Absolutely. It makes sense. And who are you competing against? Tesla.
Right.
Tesla set the bar when it came to that sort of stuff. Ford, again, is paying attention to what is going on, and so they have decided to change their game a little bit and go outside of what they were doing to build on that goal that they have, man. And I'm telling you, and you know, a lot of people are asking, well, why would an automotive company, team up and integrate with this? I mean, all companies have some sort of subsidiaries for various reasons.
Yeah,
you're good at this, so
well,
we want
remember
you to make.
Delphi. Remember, they would partner
That's
with
right.
these radio manufacturers,
That's
or they
right.
would partner with Bosch, or they would partner with Denso.
Right.
And these are companies that were good at doing certain things, right? That that we needed to have in our cars. They were in demand. So
That's
this
right.
is a quote from Jim Farley. Now, if you don't know, Jim Farley is relatively new CEO at Ford.
And he's not living in a van down by the river. He is no relation to Chris Farley.
Chris Farley. I love this quote, and I think we, Jay, in our generation can recognize this from the. You remember how like CDs came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was, or let's take it even further back, tape decks, right? Like they had 8 tracks in cars. Okay,
Yeah, I had 8 tracks.
Okay.
I had 8 tracks, man.
And then-
I had cassettes and then CDs.
And then the Sony Walkman comes out, and
Yeah.
everybody's trying to figure out ways to get tapes to play in your car. And they had FM
Right.
modulators, and they had all these elaborate, like, okay. Then it's on to CDs, and we get this whole,
Right.
like, well, now we have this better sounding digital music format, but the car manufacturers were, what, 4 or 5 years behind? I mean, really,
At
before
least.
I started to see factory CD players in cars, it was 4 or 5 years after the trend took off.
And they had CD Walkmans by that time.
And you were doing the same thing. You had your
Right.
Walkman sitting on your dash, and you had like a tape adapter that you were trying to
Yes.
put in the tape deck and make it work. And then the iPad came out, or the iPod came out, and it was the same song and dance again. We were back to like FM transmitters to
Right.
try. Okay, so here's the quote, and this tells me that Jim Farley is aware of that problem, and they are trying to make it better. This is
Right.
what he says. One of the most important parts of our strategy is to partner. That means we have to get out of the business of doing generic things that we do not
That's
add
right.
value, like navigation systems and a lot of the in-car entertainment experience. Amen.
Exactly.
You are not going to win on the infotainment system against Apple, Google, Microsoft, whoever's been making computers for 30 years, okay?
Hey, Apple, are you paying attention to some sort of like chip
dude. No,
Okay.
they're more
All right,
interested
sorry.
in the new noise canceling headphones that
Right, but, exactly. But you know what? Or the $700 wheels. But so
well, he said
Go ahead.
we were spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions every year. That's three times
Yeah.
the hundreds, whatever that
Right.
translates to, keeping up with basically a generic experience that was not competitive to your cell phone. Yep.
Right.
You guys were
Right.
always going to be behind the curve on electronics, so you're smart to not try to do it in-house.
Exactly. And
You were
why?
saying.
And it's exactly. And so you team up with someone, you partner up with someone like this, okay? And if you look at, their parent company is, what is it, Alphabet Inc.?
Yeah,
Is that
for
what
Google?
the-
That's correct.
For,
yeah,
for
Alphabet.
Google, right?
Yep.
So if you look at the list of subsidiaries under their parent company, you have Waymo, okay? Autonomous driving.
My son can
You
tell you
have-
all about that. Yep.
Right, absolutely.
So they're going to
You
leverage
have-
that. They will.
Yeah. You have DeepMind, artificial intelligence. You have Google themselves, Google Fiber, internet services. Okay? You have Sidewalk Labs, which we've talked about.
Yep. Google Fi
Those
is also, that's the cell phone side of
Right.
Google's offering.
So I'm telling you, man, what you are seeing is Ford going, and they're smart to know that they can't compete with that. They can't compete. They don't have the resources to do it. They have to rely on somebody else. So it's so smart for them to go in here and team up with these guys.
Which is exactly the reason that I said it was risky for Apple to develop their own processor chips, because
Yes.
they were having to spin up their own internal departments
Yep.
and resources to do that. That's another podcast, which we've already covered, but it is the same philosophy. And
It
here
is the
you
same
have-
philosophy.
You have Ford going one way and doing things with partnerships, and you have Apple going the absolute opposite way and going, no partnerships, we're doing this our own.
That's right. That's right, man. And Ford's going to end up winning big time with this, man, I think. And again, I think it's a win-win for both companies. And again, Google's going to make out like a bandit with the percentage of cloud storage out there because of the fleet vehicles, man, under the Ford company badge.
Now, I have a prediction,
Okay.
and I bet you didn't see this coming. But this is the shift, the market shift that I think you're going to see. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. If we're right, I want it named after us.
Smash that subscribe button, man.
Okay. Yes, but actually, let me hold off on this for a second. Before we
Okay.
get into that, Jay, would you like to give out our?
Sure.
This is called
Guys.
a tease. See what I just did there? Here,
man.
wait,
Hey.
hang on. So, are you going to give out the social stuff?
Yeah.
I hate to be the one to break this to you, but automobiles are not human. They have no lineage or personality.
I wonder why I keep forgetting that.
I love it.
Got that one just from the show. You know where that's from, right?
Yes, I do. Knight Rider.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So, hey guys, if you like what you're hearing, if you're enjoying this podcast, obviously you can check us out over on partscounterguru.com. Hit the podcast links. We're on every available platform out there: Spotify, Google. Speaking of Google, we're there. We're on Amazon. Speaking of Amazon, we're there. We're there. Just ask Alexa and Siri and all those gals that are out there, wanting to help you. Just ask them to let you tune into the Parts Counter Gurus, and they will get you there. So follow us on social media. We are at Facebook. We're facebook.com, Parts Counter Gurus. We are on Instagram.com. It's the Parts Counter Gurus. We're on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is at The Counter Show, which is what you're listening to right now or watching if you're watching this segment over on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, like us, ring a bell, tell a friend. Let me tell you why that's so important to us. You subscribing to our channel, it's free to you, it's priceless to us, it helps us gain momentum to continue to bring you more content like this, and we really love doing what we're doing. We're very passionate about it, and we want to keep growing, so we can't do that without you. So thank you if you are subscribed, but if at this moment you decided after listening to this show today, you wanted to subscribe, thank you, and go get somebody else to subscribe. Trust me, it'll be worth it for you and them. Did I miss anything? Where can they shop at, Keith? Is there some place they can shop at?
Well, if you go to that website that Jay gave you, partscounterguru.com, up in the top right corner, there's an Amazon banner. If you click on that, you will use our Amazon affiliate link, and that doesn't cost you any more for anything that you buy on Amazon. It is completely anonymous, so what you buy is not. We don't have any insight into who bought it. Okay,
Right.
We do get an affiliate credit, which basically translates to Amazon giving us a little scratch to help support the show. So, look, you guys, we know you shop on Amazon already anyway. We appreciate you doing it. We've seen this actually grow. People are doing it. Thank you to those that are supporting the show that way. It's an easy way for you to support the show. If you were going to buy the stuff anyway, click on our link first at partscounterguru.com, and then we get the credit, you get the stuff for the same price, and you help support the show. It's a win-win,
That's
win,
it.
win.
It is. It's a win-win-win-win thing. And it also, too, I just put something out on our website. It's a real quick story about a gadget that Keith bought for he and I about a year ago, just out of necessity, because some check engine lights and stuff were coming on our vehicles. And he ran across this product. It's called Fixed, F-I-X-D. They are not sponsoring us. This is not a paid advertisement. We're just telling you that it's a pretty neat little gadget. I'm sure there's tons of other ones out there, but we haven't used all of them. We've specifically used this one, and it works. And you can check some of those live demos on our
I've tried
YouTube
a lot
channel.
of them, and it's one of the better ones.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. If you are watching either one of those videos, there is a link in the video that you can click on, and they're going to give you a little bit of love, get a little good price on that. So just saying, go
There you
ahead
go.
and do yourself a favor. if you use it one time with a check engine light comes on and you find out what the problem is yourself and you replace that, I'm telling you, it will pay for it the first time you use it. Period. Boom. There you go. Get you one.
All right. So in closing,
Yeah.
this is what you've all been waiting for. All right, here, I'll give you a little. This is where I think
I love it.
Ford is going to go with this Google partnership. Okay.
Okay.
So we've talked about planned obsolescence. Everybody knows what planned obsolescence is in the automotive industry. If it's from Robert talking about ethanol and how people don't, hang on to cars long enough for it to matter, to, just the whole, GM doing this thing where, they expect you to replace the vehicle that you own in they'll go. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So planned obsolescence. Okay. Before I digress too far. So the problem that the current model has right now in the auto industry is that if they sell you a great car that works for 15 years, like a Tesla, okay, which people tend to hold on to those longer, they hurt the revenue model because it affects future sales.
That's right.
So what I suspect is going to happen as a result of this partnership with Google is Ford is going to create some kind of recurring revenue model. Mm-hmm. Apple has done it. Lots of people have done it. Okay. And let's just say you call it Ford Care. Okay. Whatever this model ends up being, it needs to be named after us because we told you this was going to happen. But they're going to basically allow you to sign up for a regularly recurring charge, whether that's yearly or monthly, okay? Mm-hmm. And let's just call it Ford Care. And with Ford Care, you get updates pushed to your vehicle. When they release new software, whatevers, you get those. If they release new features that are enabled by software, you get those. That will offset the cost that they need to sell new vehicles. And as a real benefit to Ford, and this goes back to your whole cost of production, it doesn't cost them as much to see a return on that revenue because they've already sold the vehicle. So they don't have to build a new vehicle to sell you. They can keep making money on the one they sold you 3 years ago. Okay?
That's right. Yeah,
that's where I see this going.
Sense.
Now, there's good and bad to that. The bad is, you're paying... There's an added cost to that car that you just drove off the lot that you didn't have on the one you bought last time. The good is maybe you get longer life expectancy out of that car and the total cost of ownership goes down because now once you have it paid off, if you financed it, you can still use it and get new features out of it. I don't know, but I smell this coming. I can just tell you right now we're headed in that direction.
And funny thing is, man, is GM started all this stuff with OnStar.
Yep.
Right?